Hey guys, DeweyFin21 here, and I wear a fez now. Fezes are cool, and that's one of maybe 3 cool things that happened that I'm going to talk about in this review. My fez. I did like the part at the beginning. I'll get to it later, but I did like it. And then that part, the visuals in the final, before the Megazord battle, the visuals in the backgrounds was really cool. Although it sort of got wasted because I thought of a much easier solution to the problem. But anyways, if you can't tell, it's just a generic filler episode to get a new weapon and destroying the mutants, apparently. It destroys the mutants. It's the end of the mutants, apparently, or something, because those, like, the leaders are destroyed this episode. But, I mean, if this is the end of the mutants, then yes, you have to watch the episode, otherwise you'll be questioning what happened to the mutants. They were destroyed in this episode. Otherwise, this episode's, besides the new Megazord and the mutants getting defeated, you really don't even need it. It's really... First off, what kind of title is Gosei Ultimate? It's the name of the ship and the Megazord that they get at the end of the episode, but really, the episode title's Gosei Ultimate. You couldn't think of anything? I mean, just saying that's the name sounds weird. Oh, hey, did you see the episode Gosei Ultimate yesterday? Um, what? Yeah, the episode Gosei Ultimate. What? It just, it doesn't sound like a title. It sounds like there needs something more. Ugh. They couldn't just call it like the Ultimate Power. Probably is an episode called that. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the episode titles for a lot of them. Because I know there was the Ultimate Duel in Samurai or Super Samurai, one of those two. So the Ultimate Power, and I mean it's not like you don't copy episode names. You've done it before sometimes. So I mean, yeah. Anyways, and yeah. So the episode begins with the mutants talking about their plan to pollute the earth. And then obviously the Wild Force theme starts playing because it's the plot to Power Rangers Wild Force. Except they're mutants, which would be Time Force, which would mean it's the theme song intro for Reinforcements of the Future, which is the Wild Force theme. So yeah, it's the Wild Force theme playing. Except those are mute orgs. These are just mutants created by the pollution. But really, that's all Wild Force was anyways. Pollution monsters. So, yeah. Even for an episode of Power Rangers Wild Force, I would tell you to skip it. It's not important. So, yeah. Aliens talk about their evil scheme. Tensu tries to build the mega ship thing, the Astro mega ship. Tensu's building that. And, pulls out a carburetor. Or an engine block for a car or something. I don't know. It makes no sense. There was a joke. I don't. The comic relief in this episode just fails. And Tensu's only in like 2 scenes, and it's only comic relief in like 2 scenes, but it fails because it's not funny. And it's trying to be sort of serious with the funny, which doesn't work. Because the comic relief has to save the day because he's the one making he's the one making the ship that will save the Rangers. Oh, look at that. It's the comic relief. What are you gonna do? And they were doing so well. The series was going so much better. And then this happened. We're back to generic Power Rangers. Sure, the last few episodes may have been generic-ish, but they had personalities. You could tell the Rangers' personalities, and there was actual threats to the Rangers. And the villains were sort of interesting. The villain in this episode, the main one, there's two main villains, and neither of them are any good at being a villain. They're powered by the Aurora box to be 100 times more powerful. One's Ivan Ooze without the charming personality, and the other one is Blue Fur. Get it? Because he has blue fur. Be like me calling. That'd be like if my parents named me Blue Eyes. Because I got blue eyes, apparently. I don't know, I can't see my eyes, especially not with this, because, like, the reflection from the screen, like, right there on my eyes. Maybe if I get closer, maybe I take off my glasses, I can see, like I have, well, that's still a blue light, so you can't really tell-ish. But yeah. Although, one moment I thought was cool was when the Rangers used their ultimate power to shoot out both of the monsters. And then they turn around to do their victory pose. The monsters come out of the explosion and hit them in the back because they turned their back on the monsters and they weren't defeated with the victory thing. So yeah, I liked that. Which really was just a sort of version of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie thing where during the morphing sequences the villains just leave. It's sort of like that, or maybe like to the 10th power where the Psycho Rangers grab the morphers on the Galaxy Rangers before they can morph. Something like that. But I liked it well enough. That was cool. And yeah, there was never really any threat to the Rangers themselves. I mean, like, sure they got them to demorph, but Robo Knight was there and he got damaged, and then by the time, but it didn't really affect it, I think, because they were morphed again in the very next scene and fighting the monsters again. And then Robo Knight better the next time they fight the monsters, and the Rangers are morphed like 90% of the episode, maybe even 95% of the episode. And you guys, if you've watched my videos, you know I like it when the Rangers have personalities, and when they're in the Ranger suits, they don't have personalities. That's just how it is. Because you can't write a person in a suit with a personality, because it's not the way they did it in Mighty Morphin, which is what Saban believes, is that everything has to be like Mighty Morphin, because Mighty Morphin is the best season of Power Rangers. And if you disagree with that, then you're wrong. Especially if you say anything with the Disney seasons were good, because the Disney seasons did not happen except for the fact that we're bringing at least one Disney person back, because, well, he lived in New Zealand, he was close to get to, and so everything will be good. And which I like Casey. He's my favorite Red Ranger, but I mean, really, Saban just doesn't want to acknowledge Disney, which is they they didn't even bring back the RPM Rangers for the Samurai RPM crossover, which was just borrowed from the Sentai because they already had the footage. They weren't going to film anything new to include the Disney characters because Disney characters never happened. Because Disney was stupid with Power Rangers. At least they were more original. At least they didn't try to do Mighty Morphin every season. At least they didn't do that. Sure, they may have copied the Sentai every season, but at least it wasn't trying to be Mighty Morphin every season. Samurai and Megaforce have both been Mighty Morphin. That's all they've done. They're even less original than Disney, who just copied everything. Because at least Disney had RPM, which was different. So far, you guys got nothing. You got nothing. Nothing. In this episode just highlights it. It Plus, the only time the Rangers were actually in any danger, they were being idiots, because they're inside. Okay, so they defeat the ooze monster, and the Aurora box grows giant, gets inside the box, gets on top of a building, and the ooze monster's inside of it and covering the earth, starting to cover the earth and stuff like that. And then the Rangers go in and defeat the ooze monster, and then the box starts closing in on them, and then it just goes to, and it's all a black background. The background inside the Aurora box when it was working looked pretty cool. It did, I have to admit. That was one of the other things I thought was cool was the background there, although it basically like Windows Media Player set to the trip out mode or whatever it's called. But I mean, it's something different. You don't usually see Rangers and that type of stuff. Usually when they're in an alternate dimension, it's just black, which is what it turns into, but that's usually just what it is. It's either black or white or just one color. It's not like wavy lines, and sure it didn't go around the Rangers and all that stuff, but it looked cool enough. And then the Rangers, like, they were really stupid because the box closes in on itself. It's all black. Troy shoots up, and it doesn't hit anything. Why don't you shoot down? You arrived on an elevator, so obviously the elevator should probably be somewhere near you. Shoot down at the floor, break the floor, fall into the elevator, go down to the ground floor. You did need Gosei to rescue you from the box. Because at least Tori found a way out of that camera, if I'm remembering that Ninja Storm episode correctly, because I haven't seen that since my childhood. She found a way out of that camera. Or if that was what it was, it's been a while. I think it was Tori was stuck in a camera, and Mariah, Capri. It's been a while since I've seen Ninja Storm. Wow, can't believe it. That's been a long time. I remember liking the season. Anyways, yeah, there was camera, and then Tori broke out using her powers. Just shoot down at the floor, fall into the elevator, and hit ground floor. You'll be fine. You're Power Rangers. You could survive a 5-foot drop. You've survived way worse than that. Just shoot the ground. Shoot the ground. You did need Gosei to come in the Astro Mega ship. It's called the Gosei Ultimate Control ship or something like that, but it's the Astro Mega ship. It is. It crashes in and then you lands. It lands with the rock face, and then the rock face breaks away to reveal a ship. It is the Astro Mega ship. That's what it looks like to me. So, yeah. And, Megazord battle. Rangers win. Jake wants to take the ship out on joyriding. And, Noah and Emma show a connection with the thinking type stuff. That made me sort of happy, but I knew it was just, oh, Noah and Emma are in front of Jake. Well, let's just have them do it. Because every shipping thing that I ever do always turns out wrong unless I already go for the canon pairing. I mean, let's see. Everything I've gone for that hasn't been canon. Let's see. Jade and Emily. Don't want to say that in case people watching this are reading my fanfics because that's a spoiler for who Tori actually likes. Let's see. I mostly was canon for a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, mostly because if I like the relationships enough, I did it, and if I didn't, well, I never really paid attention to it. So, yeah. This episode is really boring, but I guess you need to watch it or something, but just watch it just know they get a Megazord, and the mutants are defeated or something. Because it's like the two main boss mutants, so obviously, probably the mutants aren't going to come back, and if they do, they're going to be led by Vrak or something. Anyways, yeah, that was Gosei Ultimate. Still a stupid title. And the worst part about that was that because I wasn't able to see the episode when it came out, I wasn't there that entire day. Or I wasn't awake, at least. I don't remember. It's been a white weekend. It's been a long weekend. Except, I don't know. I'd much rather be talking about the Haunted Hathaways. Because at least that's a good show. At least I think so. I like it well enough. Or at least talk about last week's episode. Because, I mean, it did some good things that I didn't mention. Because Dream Snatcher wasn't as good as... Because every episode now is going to be compared to the Ultra Power. Because Ultra Power is really, really good. It's like probably going to be my favorite Megaforce episode unless something just spectacular comes along. Which, let's see, with Samurai Team Spirit, unless an episode like Fight Fire with Fire comes in for Megaforce, or Super Megaforce, wow, that's going to be the actual title, Super Megaforce. Wow. You know, maybe the genericness is on purpose because it's Megaforce. Megaforce describes generic. It's just generic. It's supposed to be generic. But even then, really, you make a season that's designed to be as generic as possible. That's just lazy. Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Hmm. Do I have anything else to say about the episode? Am I forgetting anything? Huh. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I don't remember exactly, but were the Rangers ever introduced to the mutants? To the mutant leaders? Because they were calling them by name all episode. And I don't remember them ever being introduced. Making me wonder how the Rangers knew their names. Did they read the episode description too? Did they read the episode description for this episode? It said they'll be facing off against Blue Fur and the other guy. Get it? Blue Fur? Because his fur is blue. Ah, ah, ah. Well, yeah. There was so much good. It was building up just to come crashing down. Oh. Who knows? Maybe next week will be better, but, well, it'll probably be better. As long as it's not another episode like this where it's just to gain another power. Why can't we get writers who can write character development even in the suits? The only person who you can't see their face that gets character, well, you really can see their face, is Robo Knight. Robo Knight gets development even in the middle of battle because he's a robot, so they guess, oh, he's got to learn his lessons about how to be human and stuff like that, even though he's not a human, he's a robot. And Gosei and Tensu are comic relief. Well, Tensu is anyways. Gosei's the pressuring leader, and I mean, really? Really? I mean, uh, I'm just tired of this. Tired of the same thing over and over again. I've seen enough generic Power Rangers. I want it to get back to breaking conventions, which is, it had a moment. It did. It had that moment where they thought they finished him off and then they just came and attacked him again. But that's one moment in the episode. And, oh, oh, the rest of the episode was just Oh, so boring. Because I've had episodes where I've paid attention to every single thing, even the Megazord battle. If I think the Megazord battle has enough risk, I'll pay attention to it. If there's no risk for the Megazord battle, I won't usually pay attention because I know that the Rangers are going to win because the Rangers always win. And it's not like they're gonna spring a two-parter up out of nowhere like Samurai did a few times. Because even with Samurai's two-parters, like there were two Megazord battles, one for the first monster and one for the second monster for the second episode. Because the only reason they were two-parters is because there was like 5 extra minutes of plot that they needed to get done, and they didn't want people confused, so they called it a two-parter so people would be, so they could say have a reason to recap the previous episode. So yeah, that happened. Yeah. Anyways, this has been DeweyFin21 wearing a fez, and I'm saying, bye, I guess, whatever.